Hey everyone, it's 10 types, and recently, as in like really recently, the new expansion in Pokemon TCG Pocket, Shining Revelry, was just fully revealed. I actually didn't realize this was a full set because it kind of feels like a mini set from the regular TCG being like shiny focused, but it's not as shiny focused as those sets. We see some shiny Pokemon, but only a handful. And then we see a lot of new cards. Most of this is new cards, if not like essentially the entire thing, which is really interesting and cool to see. And there are a lot of cards here, but there are some that I think are a little questionable. We'll start off with the trainers here. First, we have Iono. I did cover this set a little when it was first revealed, and I did talk about Iono. It's a supporter card here that says each player shuffles their hand into their deck and draws that many cards. And so that is pretty straightforward. I think this is a solid draw. I think the disruptive element to it is okay, though not amazing. It's just moderately disruptive. And sometimes it helps your opponent draw as well. And during the early game, I think that'll be a major part of it, like a big downside to it. But it is a good draw for you as well. When you're at like maybe early points of the game, you're playing an evolution-based deck, and it might be a little clogged up because you have your evolutions like going just like not in the right order or various things like that, right? You might have a lot of supporters or something. So I think Iono is a really interesting supporter, really good, but definitely with a downside of being able to help your opponent and not being necessarily a super strong draw supporter at certain points in the game. And shuffling into your deck and drawing that many cards means you can like draw the same cards. So it's not, it's not Professor's Research. It's different, but I think it's very strong still. Then we have red, which I also talked about before. It says, or I believe I talked about. And it says during this turn, attacks used by your Pokemon do 20 more to your opponent's active Pokemon EX. This is really good. Brock is pretty good. Oh, no, Brock's okay. No, sorry, Giovanni. Giovanni's okay. This is not Brock. Giovanni's not amazing. It's 10 extra. This is 20 extra, though. That's much better. And EXs are obviously really, really important to the game in terms of the decks that people are playing. They're kind of, oh, that's not the right link. They're kind of like overpowered, right? So pretty much all the decks that people play are EX-based decks. There are some single point Pokemon played in the game. Pardos Lucario here is the top single point deck by a pretty wide margin. Like a really wide margin. The next one's Magazine Skarmory here, unless I missed one, which is here at 21. And again, there are single point Pokemon in here, but your opponent can kind of try to counter you by playing those. But yeah, red is a card that is just, it's really, really solid. I think. I don't think it's broken, but I think it's a card that you want to be considering in most decks. Then we have Pokemon Center Lady. Pokemon Center Lady supporter. Oh yeah, these are all supporters apparently. You heal 30 from one of your Pokemon and it recovers from all special conditions. This is okay. I mean, it's a little stronger than Potion. Recovering from special conditions is nice. Obviously, this is pretty similar to Pokemon Center Lady in the regular TCG as well. It's nerfed. I think it's nerfed more than Potion by a substantial amount to me, or by a little. I'd like to see it heal 40. I guess that would be like much better than Irida in most situations. So this is fine. You could play it. You don't have to. I don't know exactly the use cases. If you can play like Irida and Erica are sometimes played together, this is obviously weaker than those. Healing from stress conditions is mediocre, but it can be really huge, right? If you are affected by them, it's really good. Well, specifically the ones that stop you from attacking, it's pretty insane. In other situations, it's not particularly like it's okay, but yeah, it's just okay. Potion is obviously an item, which is nice. And there are a lot of supporters in the game. There aren't as many items. I would actually like to see some items. There's a bunch of items that are pretty bad that we got like early on are pretty niche, but overall, I don't love this card. I don't hate it. I mean, it's certainly fine. Then the last supporter we have to talk about is Team Rocket Grunt. It says flip coin until you get tails, and for each heads, discard a random energy from your opponent's active. This seems really annoying, right? Because this is kind of like Misty. Flip coin until you get tails. It's an energy swing for each heads as well. And I think this card is really, really badly designed. Just like Misty, it's not quite as swing. Like if your opponent flips 10 heads, they're not going to discard 10 energy from you, because you're not going to have 10 energies on board, right? But still, Team Rocket Grunt is a supporter that I think is really annoying, right? Because your opponent's not going to be able to necessarily counterplay to it. Like if you get a lot of heads, and obviously you also are going to be able to, just theoretically kind of win the game on the spot, kind of like Misty. It's a little different. It counters some things really badly, but a lot of the top Pokemon are kind of expensive with a bunch of energy without that much energy acceleration. Once they're going, they're kind of just like going. Like Palkia, right? Palkia EX really reliant on Misty, and like exclusively reliant on Misty sometimes. So it's kind of gonna shut down some decks if you get lucky. But again, it's averaging removing one energy. It's like Crushing Hammer in the regular TCG, and Crushing Hammer is a card that is pretty annoying, but it's not super insanely strong. Team Rocket Grunt isn't super insanely strong, but it's also like more annoying than Misty. I think this card is a big mistake being printed. There's a few cards that we're going to talk about that I think are mistakes. I've said, Pocket hasn't really been able to adapt very well, like at all. Their new additions, notably like trading was a big new addition. They just weren't really able to do that and implement it very well. And they haven't tried too many new things. That are like super out there, and this is something that they're sticking to something that they've already done, which people already don't like. So I'm not really sure why they're doing that. There's actually a card here in this set that I think is really cool. That's something that people do like. And Pokemon has to know that people like think Misty is really badly designed. Like I asked what people thought like were some of the worst cards designed in the game, and I think everyone said Misty. Like, um, if not everyone, essentially everyone. So this seems like a really annoying card. Energy Disruption is okay. I mean, I think it can have a place in the game if you want to, but it doesn't have to. But yeah, I just think this card's like super bad. I'm interested in hearing your design wise. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on that down below. It's not super strong though. I think it's like okay. I think it's fair. Maybe yeah, I think it's fair averaging one energy and using up your supporter for the turn. It's decently strong. I think. I don't know how much people will play it though. The issue, it's averaging one. If it was just one, like discard one energy from your opponent's active, that would be nice, but it's not actually like averaging one. It's averaging one heads, but if you flip 10 heads again, you're not going to get that value. So I think it's going to average more around I don't remember what like really know what it'll average around. Maybe like a quarters of an energy or something like that. Um, but like in half the time you don't get anything off of it, and then getting two is nice. Getting two could be insanely strong, but against only your points active, they'll probably have like three or four at most. So it's all right. Getting discarding one is really good though. Then we have a bunch of other Pokemon we'll just go through the set. I guess we'll talk about all the EXs. We won't talk about all the cards certainly, though. But we have Beedrill EX. It does 80 for 2. Discard random energy from your opponent's active. This is fine. I think again, like these discarding random energy effects are fine outside of like like if you're discarding the amount that you're discarding is random. But this is just discarding one. Which is like fine. It's moderately disruptive. Beedrill EX has decent HP, and you compare it with some healing stuff. Grass is, that's what its thing is. It's healing generally. Um, it's like decently efficient. Nothing crazy here, but it's fine. I think it's like a generic stage two. Don't think it's super good, but whatever. Then we have Meowscarada. I'll talk about for two grass. You do 60, we do 130 to an EX. Obviously, probably want to be doing 140, maybe 150. So you'd rather do a little more, but this is okay. I'm not going to sit here and say this card is bad, but it's not super strong either. It's fine, but it's two energy on a single point stage two. Exactly how good will that be? Stage twos, specifically single point stage twos. I mean, Rampardos is really good, but that's 130 for one. This is not that. This is 130 for two, and then you have yeah, I don't really see too many cards that are that similar. It's more similar to something like, say, Galadiax, which also I don't think is super strong. I've said that before. But it's a 2-point Pokemon, so it has more HP. And then it can do more. Wait, how much does Galadiax do? A Galadiax does 70. It's probably doing like a similar, might even maybe doing less damage, but it has more HP. So and it can be buffed as well if you want to. So this card's okay. Not necessarily surviving hits. That's the big issue. but not terrible. Just don't think people will play it that much. In Charizard DX, I talked about this some. You accelerate 3 from the fire from the energy zone. You do 150 for 5. It's pretty expensive, and so it's not like the biggest commitment. You're just attacking with Stoke, but it's a bunch of turns that you're setting up, just like so many, and you're getting hit into in one of those turns. So I think this card is kind of bad. It doesn't look super good. I mean, it does less damage for more energy than the other Charizard EX, which is obviously that would be bad. It's kind of cheaper with the first attack, um, and you're not discarding. So functionally, it is cheaper and easier to use, but it's less damage. So I think this card isn't super good. I think it's okay. I don't think it's like terrible. It's a generic stage 2 that's fine. Kind of like pretty much like all the stage 2 EXs, to be honest. And so it'll like slot in there somewhere. It's not really like the other Charizard EX. Magmortar is another card here. This isn't amazing, but it's okay. 3 fire on a stage 1, you do 70, and during your opponent's next turn, if the defending Pokemon tries to attack, your opponent flips a coin. If tails, it doesn't happen. This is another one of those coin flip cards, which people don't really, I don't think they like. I don't like them, and I haven't heard good things about them. I've heard some bad things about coin flips. Most of them are targeted at Misty. So yeah, I don't know. I wish Pokemon would like stop putting cards like this and print cards that are more interesting. This card doesn't have the set doesn't have anything super interesting. The supporters are kind of interesting. We'll talk about actually. There's like one Pokemon or a few that I think are kind of cool, but we don't see like really unique abilities in general in this set. We do have Wugtrio though. This one's really interesting. I guess I'll talk about the Wiglet first. For 1 water, you choose one of your opponent's Pokemon at random, or you don't. It's chosen at random. You do 30 to it for 1 water, which is, I mean, the attack's not that good, but it could be good if you get lucky, I guess. Pop up throughout what for 3 water, and it does one. It says one of your opponent's Pokemon is chosen at random 3 times. For each time a Pokemon was chosen, do 50 damage to it. So it's like Dragonite, right? I'm pretty sure this is exactly like Dragonite. Well, it's not exactly like it is. It's one less Pokemon, but it's essentially the same as Dragonite, which is really cool. This is a Pokemon that I love the design of. Dragonite's a fan favorite because it's really cool, but it's kind of bad because it's expensive and it's 2 energy types and it's a stage 2. So this is 3 energy and it's water, so you can accelerate either using Misty or Manaphy or whatever. Obviously, Misty, has issues, but including gameplay, like you might not get it, so that's not super reliable. But Wugtrio is able to do decent like spread damage. I think this is better than Dragonite. Dragonite's not terrible, like it's okay. I mean, it's really good if it gets going, but it doesn't get going that often. But Wugtrio is a really, really fun card here. I like its design a bunch, and I'm sure do want to play it some. I don't know how strong it will be though. Then we have, and I don't want to talk about dungeons. I'll talk about Pikachu EX, but I'll talk about Pachirisu first. Pachirisu here does 10 and accelerates a lightning from the energy zone to one of your bench lightning Pokemon. This is fine. I would actually rather see it accelerate to any type, but whatever. And then this is, I think, like the current lightning Pokemon aren't amazing. Well, no, that's not true. Some are really good. Pikachu EX, the old one, is pretty good, insane in my opinion. Still, I think it's a great card. Doesn't have a great slot in the game right now in the meta, but it's a really strong Pokemon. And then you have like Pachirisu EX is also pretty good, but most of them are cheap. And then you have like the Magnezone line, which is good, but that's pretty different. So Pikachu EX is 150 for 3 lightning, and you discard all lightning from it. And has 120 HP. This deck's pretty decent. Discarding all the energy is pretty annoying, but hitting 150 is good. You have Pachirisu to kind of power this up. Which I think is a big part of like what you want to be doing. You could pair this, put one of this in Pachirisu and the other Pikachu EX, or maybe 2 of this Pikachu EX to Pachirisu EX as like a safer attacker, and then you have this Pachirisu to power things up. Not exactly sure how you want to build this, but I think this is a really solid Pokemon, really solid combo here. Able to do big damage for. It's not super cheap, but it's not super expensive either. It can't be streamed. That's the big issue, but this Pokemon seems pretty decent. You could also toss a Magneton for something a bit safer. We do have this Alakazam. This does 80 and it does 20 to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon that has any energy attached. This card's kind of cool. Some okay spread damage, but obviously not super strong. It's not that much benched. And we have Giratina EX. This one says once during your turn you can get a. I don't know why it says once during your turn, but you take a Psychic from your energy zone, attach it to it, and then your turn ends. There's 130 for 4 Psychic, and it does 20 to itself. The stats are okay. I'd like it obviously to do a little more. That would be a bit better for it. like 10, 20 more would be pretty good. 150 HP is like good, I guess. And then the energy acceleration is nice, but it's not like I mean, it's kind of important to it, but it's also not something that, I mean, you're not attacking, right? That's a pretty big deal. So Guillotine EX I think is okay. I don't think it's super strong. I mean, its damage is just a little low, and you damage yourself, which is also not ideal. And it's expensive, so it's like the ability counteracts its attack cost, but it's more so just like a mid range damage, mid range attack cost Pokemon with mid range HP because it's high, but then you damage yourself. So it's actually like it looks kind of cool, but it's pretty like middle range generic Pokemon, which is okay. I mean, it's not like terrible and it has some depth to it, but it's also not super standout strong. We have a pretty generic champ here, which is okay. We got Hitmonlee, which is the same as the Hitmonchan, I think, and we got Hitmonchan, which is different than the other Hitmonchan, but also not that interesting. We have Lucario EX here. This is 100 for 3 fighting, 30, 20 points benched. Has 150 HP. I don't think this card's very good, notably because the Lucario that is in the format right now is really good. So this one is kind of bad compared to it. Then we have Arbok, which can poison, but I don't think it's great. New Paldean Clodsire, though, this one, Paldean Clodsire EX, and this one does 60, but 120 for points active is poisoned. Another Venoshock attack. I like to see a little more variety in these Venoshock attacks, but this is still fine. And then you have Grafaiai, which on a coin flip poisons your points active. I think poison stuff's still really solid, a little underrated, a little awkward to use, but I do like Grafaiai. I actually think it's a cool design as well. The coin flips feel okay, I guess. A little annoying, but okay. I feel like it could just poison. That's a little broken, but anyways, I feel like it's a little inconsistent, which is a little annoying. You can pair it with a Weezing and get poisoned up a lot, but you won't always have it. And then you can Venoshock with Paldean Clodsire EX, which has high HP, which is really nice. That's the best thing about it. Its damage is solid. You definitely need to pair it with Grafaiai and get some heads in there, or one head. But I think this is decent, and it's like a cool card as well. We got Tinkaton EX. This is 80 or 160 on the coin flip. This is so generic, so mediocre. But yeah, I mention it because it's an EX. Then we got Revelry, which is like the same, or it's kind of like the same as the Magmortar, a little different. But yeah, same idea. I said I think this design isn't great. We have Goldengo though. This is a cooler coin flip card because you flip lots of coins. It's essentially Celebi EX, Metal Energy on stage 1. It's a little worse, which is a little disappointing, right? Celebi EX. I feel like when people think of cool Pokemon, Celebi EX is a little too good to be like cool, like rogue Pokemon. But Goldengo is cool like that. But it's similar and it's a little worse, unfortunately. Yeah, then we have Wigglytuff. This one says once during your turn you heal 20 from your active. This I think is pretty decent. I think Shame is a really good card. Butterfree is kind of cool, but it's a stage 2. This is technically a little worse than Butterfree, but only a little bit worse. Depends exactly what you're going for, but it's a little worse. But I think it's a decent card and one that I do like a bunch. Then we have the last EX here, which is Barrel. 4 colorless, it does 100, you heal 30 from it. It has 160 HP. Actually, this is kind of interesting with a decent amount of healing. 160, you're probably not going to get one-shotted. You get one-shot by Glade, certainly, but wait, actually, they're doing 80 plus. They won't one-shot you if you have bravery or if you have giant cape on. I'm pretty sure. But still, you can giant cape. You could Rocky Helm. You could do something like that. Stick a tool on, get some healing with like Wigglytuff and Shaman, and get energy on using like Manaphy or something. Probably Manaphy. I don't know. Or like Dahlia EX. I don't hate this card. It's like all right. It's pretty expensive. The healing is okay. I mean, I guess it's good, but obviously, how good is this? I think it's okay. I don't think it's stand out amazing or bad. I think it's decent. I think it's one of the better EX in the set. Overall, the attacks in the set to me don't stand out that much. They're okay. I think the card that obviously stands out the most, I think Iono is really good. And I think Team Rocket Grunt stands out, not for great reasons. But anyways, tell me down below in the comments what you think about this set. If you think it's cool, if you think it's whatever, if you think it's bad. But I'm like kind of excited, I guess. Obviously, I'm probably a little more excited for some of the stuff happening live. But I hope you enjoyed. Consider liking, subscribing, hitting the bell, all that good stuff. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.